Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Thank you all for tuning in and joining me today. Your hostess, Sister Yatira. Inshallah, every Sunday we will be back here on Sundays to lift the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as it relates to trade and commerce. Um, so, like I said, thank you all for being here. I'm really excited to be here before you all to discuss, like I said, trade and commerce. And I just wanted to give everyone a few minutes to get on here and join me as we prepare to delve into this topic. It's something that it is it's heavily um, it's heavily needed, and it's the time, and it is just so important for us to understand the importance of trade and commerce, how it relates to us, how it relates to nation building, where do we see ourselves in it, where do we see ourselves um, right now, and where we can go and where we can grow rather. So to help us to take this portion of our program further, I want to share a a video clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about trade and commerce, business, and the way that it should be done. So let me get him on the screen to help us, like I said, take this a little bit further and going into, as we know, he's a masterful teacher. So to hear it coming from him and then go into study and parsing his words and understanding what it is that he is saying. Right, make it big and then hit play. This is an ad. It was an ad for some reason. This is not it. Okay, fam, give me 1 second. As you all know, coming to these streams, you see that my husband is a professional with these programs. So for some reason, it took me out of
The Peter Schiff Show.
Right. Why did this open up over here? Can I just to take
Go back up to the top.
Gotcha, right here. Mm-hmm. I hit it for it to load.
You still not.
Okay. Sorry about this, family. A little bit of technical difficulties. It didn't go back, so I'm gonna. There it is. I think it's loading. There we go. There it is. So let's start that video over. And then another tab popped up. Is that okay? Is that normal? Should I exit that?
Kill it.
Kill that. That's what it is.
I go back.
Let me just exit it. Okay.
Oh, you ain't got to.
Okay. Oh. Beginner's mistakes, family. So thank you all for bearing with me. It is loading now. So here we go. We're going to get into the video any second now. Okay. Do we think it's going to play or is it probably going to keep buffering?
Let me hear an answer.
Okay, let me back it up.
In the word business is the word busy. And when you're
Trying to start
busy,
over.
you're engaged in some focused activity.
All right, there we go. Thank you for your patience.
Now look, do we do business like business should be done? Let me hear an answer. In the word business is the word busy.
That's how you see it over?
No, it's cool.
And when you're busy, you're engaged in some focused activity. Business is the activity of life itself. When you are a living organism, you must be engaged in that which preserves and maintains your life. There is no creature that God created that is not busy feeding, sheltering, procreating, extending itself. If we are a living people, see, inanimate objects don't do this. They don't procreate. They don't go looking for food or shelter. They're inanimate, meaning they're not living. And what about you? Ever since we've been in America, we haven't provided food, clothing, shelter, education for ourselves and our people. Am I lying? You graduated from Morehouse, Clark, Howard, Tuskegee, Florida A&M, North Carolina A&T. Yeah. And you have degrees. What have we produced? Of food, of clothing, of shelter for our people. If you find as a living creature that you need something that you don't have, you look around for somebody that has what you need, and you enter into trade and commerce as a living people. But you are not alive. You are dead people. You have flatlined on business. Now, if you look at all the people of the earth, the ones that are the most busy, showing that they have the most life, are the members of the Jewish people. Why are they this way? Because they had the prophets. And they learned well. Now, I'd like to read you something that I found in this book. It talks about the percentage of Jews in America, but the number of Nobel laureates. Their percentage outweighs everybody's. They are the best in science, in medicine, in law, in art, in culture. It's a tremendous people. How did they get it? Through trade and commerce. Our lessons tell us that they set up a trading post. See, they understood the value of commerce. We haven't got it yet. You got brothers and sisters all over the world that you can do business with, but we have no commerce or trade with the peoples of the earth, and we sit around in America looking to white people to give us a job. Listen. You're dead. You're like inorganic matter. That's why our young people are so bitter and so angry because they came into a world and we prepared nothing for them. You telling them stay in school for what? To come out like you? You're angry with them because they found unity in a gang, because there was no unity in the house. They're justifiably angry and defiant because we, their parents, have produced nothing for them that will give them a future.
All right. Do I click on the other tab? Okay. Okay. Great. We're back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So there we have it. I think that is just the perfect stream to just segue into the topic of what we're dealing with. And like I said, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaks straight words. You know, his words don't need interpretation. So at this moment, I wanted to go into just some definitions of what these words mean, because I think that when we see words, for me, you know, particularly seeing trade and commerce initially, that just at all didn't see any fit in my life, in my realm. Prior to coming into the teachings, coming into the Nation of Islam and hearing these words used where I can see myself in it. So let's go into the first word, which is trade. And trade, the noun, is the action of buying and selling goods and services. Some synonyms are commerce, dealing, business, transactions, trafficking, marketing, merchandising, bargainings, and negotiations. So trade, business, the action of buying and selling goods and services. And then the verb, same, buy and sell goods, right? So the trading side, this is something that we do, you know, the transactions of a sale. We go and we get products from stores, but we are known as the consumer nation, where we are just typically buying. Sure, some of us have businesses, some of us are selling goods. So let's look into commerce and see what the definition of commerce means, as they are very closely related. The activity of buying and selling, especially on a large scale. So it's similar to trade, but commerce deals with a larger scale in particular. Synonyms being trade, trading, business, bargaining, dealing, trafficking, dealings, negotiating, and merchandising, which I wanted to take a look further and going into this word merchandising, which we see in commerce and we see in trade. And merchandising is the activity of promoting the sale of goods, especially by their presentation in retail outlets. Some synonyms are promoting, marketing, selling, distributing, advertising, pushing. Okay. So I think that going into these words helps us to, again, see ourselves in using trade and commerce, and how is this important for us being new rulers. As the old world is on its way out and a new world is coming in, we have been taught to study the white man. And in listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he talks about, in particular, who we should study. There has been a people that we can look and examine that has come into rulership, and he highlights the Jews and how they came into the position of power that they have. And he highlights it, as we just heard, from trade and commerce. So as we study the different things, and these are the topics that we will be delving into more in depth and more in detail as we continue to do these broadcasts weekly. So how does this relate to us here? This small nation within a nation here, as we do business, right? As we heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he raised the question, do we do business? He said, I want an answer. Okay, so yeah, we do business. But then he followed up the question with, do we do business like business should be done? Right? He goes into the word of busyness. And in the word busyness, we have the word busy. right? So a lot of times we use the word, I'm busy, and we use it on such a elementary level almost, where we're just doing something. But he goes further and defines the word busy as engaged in some focused activity. Busyness is the activity of life itself, right? So as we heard him, he talks about the different animals and things in nature, how they are going into, let's read what he says. When you are a living organism, you must be engaged in that which preserves and maintains your life. So when we see the birds and the bees, what are they doing? They're feeding themselves, they are sheltering themselves, they are procreating, they are extending themselves. And I wanted to even look up the word extending and share that with, what does that mean and how did he use that word extending yourself as in term, or as it relates to busyness. And to extend oneself means to hold something out towards someone, or to offer or make available yourself, right? So as we are, like I said, going into what we can do on a broader scale, where as we get into this book over the next few weeks, the secret relationship between Blacks and Jews, how Jews gain control of the Black American economy, we will be going into the specifics of how the international trading was done, and how what was going on, in one state, and how that affected the next state, and on a global scale as well, to be able to be uh, um, the powers that have been in control for this amount of time. Um, yes, so like I said, going more into the business side of it. Right now, talking about international trade and commerce can go over a lot of our heads. But what are we doing right now? Right now, a lot of us have businesses. There's Black businesses that we are adamant about supporting. But how can we, amongst ourselves right now, start to do trade and commerce amongst ourselves? Not just you have a product and I have some dollars and I'm going to get those, but how can we use it the way that we have seen others use it, that actually helps us to further ourselves, not just in the efforts to just support a business, but how can we use it to support and unify our efforts? So we know, a lot of us, some of us still don't know. And that's the idea of this broadcast and the future broadcasts and the ones that we already have on our YouTube channel, Fart Money, is to help bring the real education that we are not getting in the public school system. I said that right. That we are not getting. We're not learning about money in this the educational system of today. It's not designed to, because the educational system is designed to create a nation of workers, not thinkers, not gods, not leaders. So we have been taught about things that we don't need, So where trade and commerce relates as us as a people, what can we do differently? How can we support Black business and do trading amongst ourselves that helps us to be furthered in this mission and in our birth of this mighty nation that we are? What about if we're trading gold? You need something, I need something, but the exchange can be a valuable exchange, where when I'm getting your beauty, your hair care products, or food that you are providing, that when we make this exchange, it is a good exchange for something that I need, but you need as well. So here, what we offer in Fart Money is a global payment a gold global payment system, right? And like I said, we will go into depth. This is really just an introductory of what this broadcast is going to be about. And I just wanted to start by going over these words, getting some understanding of what it is and how it relates to us. A lot of us in this time, out of our passion, out of our love, out of our upset, we are uniting on different fronts. We are moving our dollars and we want to circulate them inside of the Black community. This is great. This is a major step in this journey, in this process. It is great to have a circulating currency that we need right now, because why? We need it to pay our bills, to get the things that we need, etc. So how can we now shift this, make a shift to where, if we're already using our dollars to to support Black. Now, what would happen if we change the currency and we all accept another form of currency? Still can use the dollar while it still has value, fine, because why? We still need it for, again, our payments, our electric, our water, certain bills and things that we need. Yes, these things, but as we are growing, it'll be that much more painless to just make a shift. Okay, there's a payment system. I'll download this. I'll register this so that way I can accept gold. Now, what are we doing? We are putting ourselves back on the gold standard, and ultimately, that will be the only standard where there won't be anything to compare it to and as that relates to a dollar. You understand? So wealth is what a nation needs. We need to be able to have these connections. When we look at the relations and the connection of Jews, when one has, the next has. They work in a unified effort. They can be set up, they can have trading posts in the north, in the south, across the sea, wherever they're set up, they are working collectively. So if you have a platform, I have a platform, we have platforms, we have businesses, then by us entering in this type of engagement where we are all exchanging gold, where gold is fueling our system, see, that's wealth. That gives us the ability to do more. That gives us the ability to have capital to do the things when we're operating inside a system that pays us for operating in the system. See, when we're operating from this current dollar debt, Federal Reserve slave system, there is no win for us. As that video that a lot of us had seen either today or prior of our sister Kimberly, she beautifully went into detail on how, but she used the example of Monopoly. You're playing your opponent who has 450 years advancement up over you and then tells you to try to get ahead. No, the wealth gap is huge. And we're not going to play catch up with the dollar. That's just a matter of fact, because the dollar is nothing but a debt note. Credit, all these different things, this is all dealing with debt. So as we bring this to a close, I want us to start thinking on these terms, looking more into the words of understanding what trade and commerce is, and seeing how we can do that now, right now, today. Right now, today, if you are a Black business, I'm challenging you. I'm asking you to consider moving in a forward motion that allows us to be able to operate on a whole new system that helps us to cut back with the taxes, as my husband did earlier, a beautiful live stream that I recommend that at your earliest convenience, go in and listen to that again, because he broke down what a real pyramid scheme is and the tax game. You see, this is a tax game that is rigged, so only one side of this game will always be the winner, unless you have a real financial education. And this is what you will get here in Forward Money. So please, thank you for tuning in. I'm asking that you like and share, subscribe to our YouTube page. Forward Money is on all the social media platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, here on Facebook, our YouTube channel, where we have a plethora of information. And to see more about how the golden payment system works, we will be having a live stream this evening, actually in about 15 minutes, going into the payment system and how it operates. So like I said, as we're closing, Black business owners, and if you're not a Black business owner yet, and you are wanting to start a business and you need a product and you don't know where to start, we got an answer for you as well. So as you see going across the bottom and you see our website, Forward Money, go on there and send a request for more information, and a Forward Money representative will get back to you as soon as possible to help you to either set up your business account to be able to accept gold, cash, crypto as a form of payment, to help to close that wealth gap. And then also, if you are looking to start a business, we got the answer for you. So we have to be wise in being able to use the resources that we have, and to be able to see the examples that we have before us and how we can use it for righteousness. So we see that there's a system in place that has not been used for righteousness, as a 10% of the world's wealth has been controlled by the 10, excuse me, majority, 85% is being controlled, right, by the 10%. So we need to shift that. It's not a wealth, a lack of wealth. It's not a wealth problem. It's a distribution issue. And by Allah's grace, we are changing that. So join us on this mighty cause. Like I said, share out the information. We will be back here, not here on Sister Yatira's page, but Far Money. We have our Tuesday broadcast, and Tuesday, Thursday, and then we'll be back on Saturday as well. So definitely stay tuned. All the information will be sent out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And like I said, in the next 15 minutes, be back as we will be going more into this global gold payment system, how you can start using it right now today, and how we can work together to move off of the dollar debt system and into the gold freedom system. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to many more broadcasts with you as we go into more on what we can do for trade and commerce as the new rulers. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.